All right, welcome. This is going to be a day in the life of an analyst. I can't film my whole day, but I thought I would just kind of work and talk to you all as I do it, just so you can kind of get an idea of what a PB analyst does. So we just went live with a project, a very small project, just adding on a department to a client we have already brought on that we recently just brought on, but there was a delay for some reason. I don't really know with getting this specific department in the system. So this department went live. Um, it's an OB hospitalist department, and our client uh, reached out to us and said they're having trouble um, entering charges for the specific providers. Well, the specific providers that they cannot add charges for, I was not given that list. I don't know if maybe if there was some disconnection or miscommunication with that. But good news is that provider stuff can be updated manually, which means updated right in the live environment. So I don't have to worry about migration. Already talking to the project manager, working on it. So I've got 5 providers to update a certain item in their record. So charges are able to be dropped. And we just want to make sure that the department's getting added to the specific item in their department, but we're marking that as inactive so the provider can't schedule there because they are an OB hospitalist. And that is kind of the process that this organization follows. So, I had a whole list of things to work on today, but I have to pause those and address these because this department just went live and they need to get charges out. So I'm a pen and paper kind of gal. I'm literally writing the list of providers down and their SER records because I like to physically check things off. You should see my notebook collection. It's massive. I'm also like part hoarder with my work notebooks. I save everything. I think I've got stuff from like 2019. Yeah. So yeah. So again, just writing down these providers, and I know it's a little bit of overkill, but it is my process. I write these down in my notebook, and then I also put them in my OneNote. Because if I'm finished with the notebook and I put it up in my bookcase or in my downstairs closet and somebody has a question on something, I can obviously jump to my OneNote, do a find search, and look up my notes for their question. So I'm on the third provider here, just writing it down. Okay. Apparently, I cannot talk and write at the same time. All right, last provider here. Okay. I'm going to do little squares next to each name so I can check them off as I go. I already did the first provider. Let's get out of this record. All right, next record. So I just basically every morning before I log into Epic, before I log into ServiceNow, I will write down an agenda, email check, follow up on any Teams messages. And then I'll open ServiceNow, see what tickets I plan to address for the day. What's real high priority? What needs to be completed? Do I need to finish up testing for anything? You know what? Let's back that up. So before I do that, I'll do my email follow-ups, and then I'll look at tickets where where I've requested migration. I don't have DC privileges here. And that just means moving records from your build environment to your test environment to your production environment. I can move to SUP, which is our support environment. So that's really nice, but I can't move anything to prod. Okay, so provider 2 is done. So I'll follow up on any migration requests. And then I will officially like start working in ServiceNow. What tickets was I working yesterday that I need to finish up? What tickets have any deadlines? Or that are, you know, I guess deadlines, high priority kind of fall together. So what tickets are high priority? What tickets have deadlines? Work those. And then I like to look through my entire queue, excuse me, and find quick wins, because that really gets my momentum going. Like if I have a bunch of provider updates, which are super easy, I will knock out those provider updates real quick. And that just kind of gets my momentum going. And then I get really into a groove and then start diving into those like heavier tickets. So third provider's done here. See how quick this is? Provider updates are the quickest, but you do have to be careful. With what you're updating, you really need to understand your organization's process, especially if you're doing Community Connect, because at that point, you're working with a bunch of different service areas, bunch of different clients. So it's important to start understanding how they operate. Okay. Active. All right. Fourth provider down. And everything's frozen. Ruh-roh. I don't know what's up with that. Connection interrupted. Boo. Okay. All right, last provider here. Oops. Let me delete that. Okay. Provider record. All right. So yeah, just kind of dig into the day. Obviously, carve out time for meetings, or client meetings, or project meetings. Continuing to answer emails as they come in. And obviously, if you get pinged for like, hey, this ticket just came in, their client's escalating it, we need to make this a priority, then you're going to stop whatever you're doing and make that a priority. So right now, my priority is these provider updates, which are now done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 providers, like I said. Okay, now I'm in the production environment now, and I've got the provider record pulled up in Record Viewer, your best friend. And I went to that item, and I am just making sure. Go back. This is TST. Good Lord. So I'm going to open up production, and I'm just going to make sure that all of my changes are showing in Hyperspace. I made these changes in a different tool, kind of like a background tool. So just getting production open here. I'm going to verify that everything's updated. And the group should be able to enter charges for these providers, but these providers will not be able to schedule in this department, which is expected by the organization. All right, so let's pull up this provider on our list. Okay. All right, there is our new department. I know it's a little frustrating that I'm not showing my screen. I don't know all the rules with sharing Epic screens. In my opinion, that stuff probably should not be shared. I have seen the departments there. I have seen YouTube channels where they are showing Epic screens, and I'm like, how are they getting away with that? So I don't know everything about that right now. I mean, I might look into it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want to deal with anybody legal at Epic. So I'm not going to be showing Epic screens because, well, I mean, you got HIPAA to worry about and organization specific stuff to worry about. So I'm just not even messing with that right now. I don't know how the other folks, the departments there, how the other folks are getting away with that. If they've got some sort of like, I don't know, agreement or something with Epic. I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there. So I can talk about what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing though. All right, the department's there, and one more provider to check. I apologize for that, but like I said, I am not getting in trouble or dealing with anybody legal from Epic. That is the show, and the department's there marked inactive. Okay, so I'm new to this whole like OB hospitalist thing. My last contract, I was doing provider updates, but it was more like enrollment table and effective and term dates. My provider work here is a little bit more in depth, so I'm still trying to like figure it out. We have these. You know what, guys? I have to write to my project manager and let her know these are complete, and I cannot type and talk at the same time, so just let me write that. All right, so these providers are now updated with that item. The group should now be able to drop charges. Okay, so I need to go back. We're gonna pull, so sorry, I got sidetracked there, just pulling up one more thing. Okay, so we are good. Close everything out in prod, because when I have stuff open in prod, it freaks me out if I'm not actively working in it. Closing out prod altogether. Does anybody else do that? Comment below if you do, if prod freaks you out, like when you're testing stuff. Oh, I hate being in prod when I really don't have to be. Sure can. Okay, so she asked me to close out the ticket. You guys, I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, provider stuff. So yeah, my provider work here is a lot more in depth than it was at my last org. And just a little background, I used to contract. I was a consultant contractor for a couple of years and got hired on at this organization full time. So I'm like a regular employee, like a FTE. And I tell you what, this is a great team. I'm pretty happy with the decision I made. Less stressful. Well, I can't say less stressful completely, because when I first came here, now this is a big community connect atmosphere we got going on here. And this is my first, I was doing some community connect in my last org, but not to this extent. So definitely a shock. It took me a hot minute to really get like myself in line with balancing my ticket work and projects, because it's very project heavy here. So this is now resolved. Charges can now be entered. Can you spell? For the providers. Okay. So yeah, this hospitalist thing, like, they round at this hospital, but they're not directly employed by this hospital. So like the provider setup is a little different. The way that these providers actually carry out their work is also different, where they're logging in, and all that good stuff, which I'm just learning and taking all the notes. Let me fix this. So yeah, I mean, it seems pretty boring, but this is my day. If you're thinking about becoming a PB analyst, it's amazing work. I love being an analyst. Some things it takes a little longer to understand, but it's such good knowledge to have under your belt. And it just really builds your skill. That's how I feel about it. I mean, my first year as an analyst was very hard. I mean, like, I cried a lot because you don't know what you don't know. Oh, sorry. You don't know what you don't know. And like, sometimes it can be like really high pressure moments. So you just have to take lots of notes, document everything. Like, when I say document everything, I'm talking about like not just like emails or messages between team members. I mean, like, when you learn how to do something, make your own tip sheets. Okay, like, with screenshots, if you are allowed to keep screenshots in your notes, all the tip sheets. So if you're like, I don't know what PB is responsible for department build, take screenshots of the items in the departments that your team's responsible for. Now, I will say that I've noticed that it differs across organizations. So like now I'm using department build as an example, but like at my last organization, PB would update these items in department record. But at this organization, they don't update these items, they update these items. So you just got to figure out what your application is responsible for at your specific organization. Okay. Resolving this ticket. Oop. Gonna add some time to it. So yeah, I mean, guys, this job, I want to it's not Friday, right? It's Thursday, right? No, it is Wednesday. Wow. I mean, this job is great. If you're thinking of being a PB analyst, you see that it's pretty laid back. I mean, depending on where you are. When you're first starting out, it's going to be a little bit more hectic, okay? But once you start getting into the groove, let's add this to my ticket tracker. You guys, if you don't have a ticket tracker, you need to get a ticket tracker. And I don't mean get it, I mean make one. I just use Excel. Your first year, it's going to be a little rough, but it's so worth it. So if you can find a hospital that will represent you and send you out for your certification, I highly recommend it. If you are already working at a healthcare organization, where's my Excel? And you've got that you're like in the billing space, or shoot, maybe you're a nurse who doesn't want to be a nurse anymore. See if your organization will send you out for certification, become an analyst. Oh, it's today's date. It's so worth it. It's so much fun. You learn so much. So if you want to be in the healthcare space, I this is the best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made. Okay, so we're gonna write. So I'm doing my ticket tracker here. You guys, this is my flow. I get a ticket. Right now we're a little quiet. We don't have any big projects going on because we just wrapped up one. But I get a ticket. I do the work. I put it in my ticket tracker. So we're gonna write down. So okay, hold on. Following list of providers. I feel like this might be a little an unconventional video, but I just really wanted to show you guys what's going on in real time with me. All right. So I'll get a ticket, investigate it, see what's going on, add it to my ticket tracker. Uh-oh, I don't want to do that. Update it to my ticket tracker. That way I can track it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and so, yes. So the ticket tracker is super simple. I got a ticket column, a column, a date submitted, so when was the ticket created, a description column, and action items, meaning like, what am I going to do to resolve this? What are my investigation steps? What are my action items for this ticket? Then I've got like item specific stuff, or record specific stuff. What is that master file name? What item am I touching? You know, what notes do I have on this ticket? What are my DC? What are my content management ticket numbers? Is it manual build? Things like that. And because I'm Community Connect, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 11 different clients that I maintain. So they each have their own little tab in my Excel sheet. And that just helps me really keep track of my work. Like I said, if someone, you know, if next month one of my clients comes back with, hey, we need this fixed, or hey, we need this updated, and it's like, that rings a bell. That sounded familiar. I'll go back to my ticket tracker to see, did I have that ticket before? Did I have that request before? And I could see like, oh, well, last month you told me you wanted it this way. Is that not the case anymore? And then you got your receipts, and you can send like here's the ticket number that you submitted for it. Here's the conversation that we went over. Here's your approval for moving forward with it this way. Why are we changing it now? Blah, blah, blah. So just keeps track of your work and provides receipts for you in case something comes back at you. So yeah, that's my day. I was starting to write my agenda here. I'm getting added to another project, another department project for the same client. I guess a couple departments were missed during the initial go live. Don't really know what's going on with that. It's whatever. So I was just writing that down, you know, when we're supposed to have build completed, when this is supposed to be migrated to test, when we're testing, when it's going to go live, all that stuff. And I was starting to look at my notes from the previous day and the tickets that I wanted to address, and some meeting prep. I've got some client meetings today. And then I got hit with this, hey, you know, this department went live last night. Providers can't drop charges, blah, blah, blah. So started working on that, got that completed, easy fix. And now I'm just diving right back into my agenda items. I'm going to follow up on my migration requests from last night, get those tickets closed out, mark them complete in my ticket tracker, put time on those tickets, and move on to the next. So that's it. This is day in the life of an analyst. Today is a fairly quiet day. I'm loving it. Some days are more hectic. Some days my teams is binging or pinging or whatever that noise is, like back to back. Sometimes it's crazy. But like I said, we just rolled off of a year-long project. It was a huge project. So now we're post go live and we're like helping the client kind of figure things out. What does this work queue for? Why are we getting this edit? Explaining those things and just, excuse me, getting them comfortable with our system and how we do things here. So today's a fairly quiet day, but we did some provider updates, super easy. Just had to set a certain item so they're able to drop charges, but make sure that item was set to inactive so they're not able to schedule there. That was a very important piece that I had to make sure of. And now I'm just looking through my tickets that I want to accomplish today and going to do some meeting prep for my clients. So that's it. If you are thinking about becoming a PV analyst or any kind of Epic analyst in general, it's worth it. I highly, highly recommend it. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little biased because Epic is the only EHR I've ever worked in, but it's the best decision that I ever made. I get to work from home. I can take breaks when I need to and start laundry or do the dishes. Now that depends on your organization. We're pretty laid back here. I stay on top of my work. I'm obviously joining every meeting. I'm literally like here if you need me, but I get the opportunity to step away and tidy up the house. And, it's so much better than, going to the office. I've got 2 kids and a husband, and life is lifing, right? So in my mind, it's better than having to go to the office all day and then you come home and your house is a mess and you didn't get whatever. So it's nice that I get to step away and tidy up a little bit, and my environment isn't so chaotic. It's calming. All right, so thank you. This is a day in the life of a PB analyst. Like I said, pretty light day. But yeah, ticket work makes the dream work, I guess, right? So I got to get ready for my next meeting and work on those tickets on my agenda, and I will talk to y'all later.